Hello, hello, and welcome back for another adventure in the cookie jar. Today we're doing the first recipe from the Devil's Food Cake Murder. The first recipe is called Butterscotch Bonanza Bars. There are quite a few notes and changes you can make. It almost reads like a choose your own adventure book. But the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350. You're going to want half a cup of salted butter, 1 stick, 2 cups of light brown sugar. Pack it down in the cup when you measure it. It also has a note with that. If all you have in the house is dark brown sugar and the roads are icy, it's below 0, and you really don't feel like driving to the store, don't despair. Measure out 1 cup of dark brown sugar and mix it with 1 cup regular white granulated sugar. Now you've got light brown sugar, just what's called for in Leslie's recipe. And remember that you can always make any type of brown sugar by mixing molasses into white granulated sugar until it's the right color. I have never actually seen dark brown sugar, ever. I've always wondered about it, because I hear about it a lot in some recipes, but I've never actually seen it sold. So you're going to want 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 beaten eggs, 1½ cups of flour, 1 cup of chopped nuts, optional, and 2 cups butterscotch chips, optional. How is that optional when the whole recipe is butterscotch bonanza bars? How is the butterscotch optional? I'm confused by that. Moving on. So the first note says that Leslie says the nuts are optional, but she likes these cookie bars better with nuts. So do I, especially with walnuts. Bertie Straub wants hers with a cup of chopped pecans and 2 cups of butterscotch chips. Mother prefers these bars with 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips and no nuts. Carrie likes them with 2 cups of mini chocolate chips and a cup of chopped pecans. And Lisa prefers to make them with 1 cup of chopped walnuts, 1 cup of white chocolate chips, and 1 cup of butterscotch chips. All this goes to show how versatile Leslie's recipe is. Try it first as it's written with just the nuts, then try another version that you think would be yummy. Like I said, choose your own adventure, pretty much. Any nut combination, any chip combination, pretty much. As long as you have about a cup of nuts, 2 cups of butter, or some kind of chip. Okay, so essentially, what I like about this recipe better than the last one is it doesn't say line your pan. It says to spray it or butter it with flour. So of course, I'm going to use my Baker Joy with flour. So you're going to melt the butter, mix in the brown sugar, and the baking powder and the salt, and the vanilla, and the eggs, and the flour in increments, then the nuts and the chips, spin it into a pan, bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Probably going to be longer than that. It always is. When they're done, take them out, cool them, cut them. You get about approximately 40 bars. And the last little note is, you may not believe this, but Mother suggested that I make these cookie bars with semi-sweet chocolate chips and then frost them with chocolate fudge frosting. There are times when I think she'd frost a tuna sandwich with chocolate fudge frosting, and I actually enjoy eating it. So, with all that, everything is laid out. Let's get started. This is everything we're going to need to make these bars. We have our butter out of the microwave. Put it in there for a minute. Next thing we're going to put in is the brown sugar. We'll give that a mix. That we're going to add the baking powder and the salt. And then lastly, the vanilla, the eggs. Shake about 1/3 of the flour in. And then take a second to get everything kind of together. Nuts. And lastly, a bag of chips. This is actually a lot wetter than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be more thick, like a brownie, like a blondie brownie. Alright, so our sprayed floured dish, or buttered and floured, whichever you prefer. Okay, so it is thicker once you add, or I don't know, but it feels a lot thicker than it did a minute ago. Honestly, it reminds me of the inside of a candy bar like Payday or Babe Ruth. which those are actually some of my favorites. So I'm actually excited about this. And this is what we ended up with. It says it'll bake for 25 minutes and then we'll just need to cool it. This is baked and cut. As you can see, there is a very big difference in the edge pieces and the middle pieces. The edge pieces are, they're a little bit thicker. They're a lot harder. I think it took me closer to 45-50 minutes to actually get the inside to come out not completely gooey. But by that point, the outsides were rock hard. It was starting to smell burnt. I'd already covered it with foil after the first 25 minutes. So baking was a little iffy. It did slide right out of the pan to cut it, so that was nice. Yeah. So it's chewy, it's crunchy, it's browny, it's a little fudgy. It's really good. The outside rim is very hard. It's very crunchy. It does very slightly have a burn flavor to it. It's not bad, and it's not like off-putting, but it's definitely one of those, that's got to be something you enjoy in the hardness. That's the off-putter to me. I see Dolores's point of icing them, because the middle layer did sink down a lot. So icing it would make it appear flat. I would not do that because they're already pushing sweet. Anytime we use those butterscotch chips or white chocolate chips, it's just almost seems way too sweet for me. But overall, it's really good. It's really tasty. It didn't take very long to make, but definitely either lowering the temperature and cooking it longer or covering it with foil sooner maybe would be the way to go. Because, like I said, it took forever to get the center to cook. And by the time the center was cooked, the outsides were burning. And I'm not really sure how you change that other than just cooking them at a lower temperature maybe. But overall, not bad. Next week, we are making, drumroll please, Death by Caffeine, a mocha truffle. Now, I don't think there is any baking in this. It does need a chocolate liqueur and a coffee liqueur. I'm using a Kahlua and a creme de coco liquor. And like I said, I don't think they bake off. So you're having about 4 tablespoons of liquor in this trifle. So it is definitely an adult dessert. But if you're interested in seeing that next week, join us. I hope you have a good one.